Alright, hello everybody, Skyrain here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. Well, here we go, once again discussing Battlegrounds, right? It's been an interesting season so far, and it hasn't been a season very long. Let's see, where are we at? We started the 21st, okay? Now, I'm in Silver 2. I've been casually playing it like I said I was going to this time around. Not in any rush to get into Legend. I just wanted to see how that side of the fence goes. As you can see, a lot of people are going hard in the paint for it, of course, to get there as fast as possible to Legend. Hey, more power to you. I did this last season. It's not that... honestly, it's not that difficult. All you gotta do is just grind it like no tomorrow. And you can get there in a matter of days, which is what I did last season. I got there, I got the Legend within the first week, if not less. So, you know, that doesn't take, honestly, any effort aside from just a lot of grind and time and getting in as many matches as possible. You'll eventually get there, just that's how it works. Okay, but that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is, unfortunately, now let's see, Apollyon did a video on this, and I'm going to do one myself here right now, so forgive me if I don't really like to repeat certain things of what other people have already put out, which is why I've been hesitant to put out videos for the past couple days. I had some other ideas, but I just didn't get around to it, unfortunately, and other things came up. Anyway, back to the point here with this. Smurfing, we all know it. If you, actually, well, we might not all know it. So those of you who do not know, Smurfing is always been an issue. It's very hard for them to police and for the devs to do something about. And the problem with that is, as well, they almost, by design of everything else in the game up to this point, gems and so on and so forth, pay-to-win aspects, almost by design, it's like, I don't want to say it's encouraged, but this is where we're at now, and this is where we've been at multiple rounds in different shapes and forms. Yeah, it's unfortunate, and it's very, very sad at the same time, because that just shows to what lengths, especially whales, go to have to cheat the system. And it's like, you're already pay to win, and you have to take it that much of a step further. Multiple reasons why. One reason why is they will smurf because, oh, they can't hold their own as well in matching resonances and what have you with other whales. So they take, I'm going to call it like I see it, the cowardice approach, and, you know, cheat the system within its boundaries and do what I'm about to show here. Let me break down the smurfing. I'll show you right now examples of it. All right, there's multiple examples here I have, so we're gonna go ahead and bring up a match here. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but I at least want to show what I had documented in this one. Now, Apollyon did a video on this one in particular as well, or maybe not. They did post things in Discord. Well, I'm showing just like it is here. And you'll see here, pay attention to the Necromancer, of course, on our team. It was a 6-23. This was literally a, I called it the idle walking simulator, which is what this matchup was. This is over rather quickly, and obviously not much happened in it. And there I am. I only had 2 kills, but then again, I was walking the idle the entire time and just not stopping. So it was over rather quick. Now, what we're going to get into is the smurfing examples here. Okay, here we go right now. All right. So here's the Necro. As you can see, first and foremost, we want to take a look at over here with the gems. As you can see, I'll play the video and I'll pause it when yeah, here we go. So I'm highlighting over them right now. They removed all their red gems, which is the damage and life value gems, depending on which ones you want to use. The rubies for life, obviously, and the tourmaline for the damage. Now, as a whale, most times you're getting your damage and your life values out of your resonance from your 5-star gems. In this case, they removed all their other red gems, like I said, to lower that value. And that's part of what goes into the algorithm matchmaking system that they have in place, is damage and life. Okay, so they cut their stuff down on purpose here by removing every single one in all their set pieces. All right, now there's their secondaries. There's their secondaries regardless of the fact, because the damage and life gems do not factor in to your secondary stats. Secondary stats, again, are paramount above everything else in this game. They always have been. And here we are. So as you can see, they got 9,781 armor penetration, 8,364 resistance, 7,251. You see it on the screen. Okay, now let's, as I scroll down, I continue to show again. I didn't have any commentary in this one, so obviously this is why I'm taking my time here, showing exactly. Now look at their gems. Rank 10. They have rank 10 gems slotted in. The maximum rank that you can have, as far as I know. I don't think they go past 10. But yeah, there is, look at the amount in those 10 gems. Over 1,200 in those gems for boost. All right. So yeah, they have all rank 10 gems in. So possibly, who knows how or how much they spent on the market for these, or they got in a while back on the when we had the duping outbreak, unfortunately, that never got properly resolved as far as compensation towards everybody that was, unfortunately affected and did not participate in that. And then the ones that just pretty much probably either got a slap in the wrist or who knows what, if any punishment was found to that, because who knows how well they were able to track that, if at all. And of course, that's all on the devs. That's their, lack thereof of proper policing. But anyway, so yeah. And here we go, more rank 10 gems. So yeah, they have all rank 10 gems, which is insane in its own right. And then that's why you get those stats there. Now, look at their resonance. They're only running 4,900 in this one. So they smurfed way, way down with their resonance as well. Okay. Now, in this one, I forgot to actually hover over each of their gems they had slotted in. I didn't see what ranks they had. I'm sure the Bloodsoaked Jade is probably a 5-star, rank 10. But they put a Blessed Pebble in, so that's going to reduce their resonance a lot, because they would have probably been run. They could have run all five-star gems across every single piece of their gear, but they chose not to. Now that isn't necessarily the legendary gem section is not so much the smurfing issue. That is more of, hey, they put in whatever they want into the gems, whether they choose to use them or not. That's their prerogative. I'm not going to fault them for that, because, and as we've come to know, there are 5-star or 2-star gems that are better than some of the 5-star gems that we had at launch. So that's neither here nor there. But the issue that we're having now, of course, more prevalent, is these secondary, the set pieces where they're removing their normal gems, which is crazy to think about, that whales are going to such extremes like this just to get, the leg up, and again, a form of, I call it straight up cowardice, and dirty tactics for, playing a virtual game. Okay. It's like, there's so many factors here that obviously, we've already known going in. Yes. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. All right. I'm completely free to play in a pay to win game. I'm not arguing with that. All right. I chose it, and I've enjoyed it, and I've been able to have success with it. And that's my point in doing it, saying, hey, you don't have to dump obscene amounts of money into these things, and also those who did still have to resort to these lengths of cheating, within the parameters, of course, any way they can find a way to get an edge to make themselves feel better. Okay. And it's unfortunate, and it's like, well, why? You went and dumped all this money in, and now you're just not even going to make use of it because, oh wait, I'm not able to hold my own against people that did the same thing, so I'm going to resort to these tactics. That's what I'm getting at with this. But also, I wanted to bring that to, to explain this and break it down fully for everyone to see here. All right, so, but yeah. Napoleon had this one in particular in matchups, and then I happened to, oddly enough, not long after, I ended up happening to get in a match with this one too, and I'm like, oh, this is the one in question. What do you know? And speaking of, they were on the other side. Okay, now I stayed there for a very, very long time examining that Necro's gear. Now, they said, Napoleon said here, saying, oh, well, and look at theirs. They removed their red gems as well. So they have none of their normal damage or life gems in as well either. And I brought that up saying, hey, you did the same thing. And he said, well, no, actually, I did that after. So, hey, I was like, well, that was very fast, so whatever. But then again, like I said, I examined the Necro for a very long time in this video. So maybe that happened, but nonetheless, here we go. They might be testing it out. I'm not sure. Now, also, the other thing that you can do here, let's go ahead and play this and get a little further along. So there's the stats, secondary stats on Napoleon here with the normal gems still removed. It doesn't matter because they don't play into secondary stats at all. Like I said, it's life and damage, which is not in any of these secondary stats at all, so it doesn't matter. But you can also remove runes going into Battlegrounds and putting them back in. Now, they give you, your base damage and life values on your gear with the legendary ones, I think, are what, 6, 7, 8, 9% on each one if you have them in. So, yeah, so you can do that, and that is not, they didn't lock that out yet. They need to implement that into the system. They did that with, you couldn't do that with your gem. Yeah, your legendary gems. They did that to prevent people from doing that. And I think the normal gems, actually. So you have to willingly go into a match beforehand and remove all your normal gems that you don't want in, because you won't be able to add them once you're into the match itself. All right. So, yeah, but unfortunately with runes now, runes a whole nother ball of wax they didn't obviously think of because they don't play their own game, the devs, and now you can take out your runes before going in and then slap them all back in once you get inside the game, into the match. So that's another thing to watch out for. Isn't this fun, huh? It's honestly comical, to an unfortunate sad degree, but it's absolutely comical how, again, like, whales and such in this game go to such lengths in a virtual game to push themselves forward like this to get any kind of edge that they feel like they absolutely have to have. And that's the problem. It's like they have to have these edges. It's like they have to. It's unfortunate. And there we go. I'm just kind of going over this real quick. Like, okay, yeah, the damage and life values aren't going to matter much here in this case. I mean, they kind of do, but his secondaries are okay for what they are, obviously. And those are rank 7s. I got a bunch of rank 7s myself, and I'll show you myself here in a little bit after all of this for comparison, just to put things in perspective. All right, okay, that's good enough in that one. I have another example, and I have to get around to it, which is the other main premise for this video. I didn't mean to close that all the way, but nonetheless. All right, I have it. Hang on. All right, now, just for the sake of it here, I found another match. I had multiple matches, of course, this morning with this one in particular, so the first couple of recordings, I didn't check them thoroughly enough. I kind of got in, got out. I was in a rush. But this one here, I'll break it down so you see how this one was a little bit closer overall. So kudos to the other team for trying to push. All right. So this was the top of the opposing side. They have all their normal gems in slotted. Their secondaries are okay. And the secondaries are fairly decent. And they're running that currently. I found them in a match later after this one, and they ran about 5,000 residents. So they could go higher if they so choose. But that's kind of beside the point in this one. As you can see, I'm just kind of showing this just for reference. Now, trying to gauge, read the room, so to speak, every matchup here, looking at all their resonance and secondaries. Secondaries are fairly decent on the armor, pen, and potency on that one, of course. 4,000. So yeah, they kind of bumped their stuff up a little bit. So yeah, this is just a breakdown of the opposing team in this match, so you can kind of get an idea. The secondaries are fairly high in most of these. For their resonance, so that does play into a lot, and a lot more than it used to, which is, I think, why, again, the whales have resorted to smurfing their normal gems harder than ever before. All right, so now I'm starting at the bottom of our team. We had some fairly lower resonance in here. Well, no, that one's about average across with their secondaries and their resonance. Okay, there you go. Everybody wearing all their stuff, all their gems. Oh, I show this one because they were using the crystalline shadow and they had multiple beams. The key thing you have to remember, though, with the multiple beams, with the crystalline shadow, if you hit a target with multiple beams, it was already stated that it's still going to equal 1 beam damage. So it just increases the spread. And that's why it has been changed recently to say, oh, the crystalline shadow beam radius has been improved. Okay, so here we go. This is the one in question. And, you know, sorry, I don't care, calling you out. The missing red gems across the board, obviously, in all the set pieces again here. This is the standard quo now for running things. This time I actually went over their legendary gems. All right. So they have a 4 out of 5 roiling, 10, still ranked 10, and let's see, a pain clasp, whatever, it's ranked 10, and then there's a 1-star gem ranked 10, so they lowered their resonance as well with those, of course. 5 out of 5 rank, max rank, Bloodsoaked Jade. I think I go back later and show more in detail. Another 1-star gem, so they lowered their resonance some more with that one. A Blessed Pebble, of course. That seems to be a popular one because of beneficial effect duration on it, mind you, but also to smurf their resonance. Bottled Hope, 5 out of 5. And they also have gems slotted into it, which is why there's a 20, 40, and 60. So they slotted gems into their wings on these ones in particular. So yeah, they're definitely a heavy whale. But they are smurfing. And then, yeah, see there, 20, 40, 60. They have all their wings slotted out in that one as well. And, okay, there's their secondaries. Now, even interesting enough, even for the whale here in this case, obviously not as high as the Necro's secondaries, they've completely ignored potency, which is another interesting choice even for a barbarian. Yeah. So they're not quite, honestly, I hate to say it, but they're not quite smurfing as hard as the Necro did. But there's their resonance, 4,200. With those secondaries, we've already gone over the same, breakdown of everything else. So yeah, Season of the Smurf. Season of the Smurf. That is what this is to be deemed. That is what it will be called. Okay, here we go. Now I'm showing their normal gems. They're not maxed. Yeah, the Necro had all 10s, so that's why their stats are a bit lower on that front. But same premise, same execution again. And it's sad. It's sad. It really is. Now, granted, there was some of them that are going to argue saying, well, I don't want to be in queue for, 30 plus minutes, blah, 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 that kind of thing too. So I was like, well, yeah, that factors in. And I see that too. Again, it's an unfortunate design by the devs. Fault. They're the most at fault, obviously, in all of this. But then again, their whole premise behind this is to get as much money out of people as possible. And that's it. That's the greedy side of mobile gaming at its finest. But again, it is what it is. It's business. It's whatever. It's unfortunate, but far too many people literally pay into that stuff. All right, and like I said, put me in perspective here as a free-to-play so that we're not being like, whatever here. I still have my PvP gear on. I have all my gems slotted in. I never take anything out. I never take anything out going in. And here's my secondary stats with the current setup. And I'm still wearing Inferno 2 gear on a lot of this stuff. And there's my resonance, obviously, right here, too. So, yep. That's me as a free-to-play compared to all this other nonsense BS that's going on with, I guess what they've resorted to. We've had Smurfers in the past, but this is like just obscenely stupid. Obscenely stupid. But anyway, I've rambled on very, very long on this. I didn't plan on recording for this long on this particular topic, but that is the full breakdown. I don't think I could get any more thorough than that. One other thing, like I said, about the runes, yeah, these aren't locked in, so you can pop them in, pop them out whenever you want. In Battlegrounds, it doesn't matter. That's an unfortunate other thing that I am sure some of them have already taken advantage of. You don't always see that, though, unless they forget, of course, and then the next thing you know, you check their stats in the end card and see, why don't they have runes in? It's like, oh, because they forgot to put them back in when they entered the match. But yeah, that's an unfortunate other thing, too. I don't know if the devs will ever get around to fixing that, because, again, they don't play their own game, and they don't police their stuff very well at all. So it's unfortunate, and of course, I'm going to blame the whale community on this one. So, it's unfortunate that they had to go about it this way, but here we are. And it still doesn't, deter certain things too much, but it does make for an overall sour experience unnecessarily than it should ever. It should never, resort to such things, such tactics. But hey, cheaters gonna cheat any way they can just to get ahead in a virtual game, spending thousands upon thousands of dollars and still not really, having much else to show for it. So anyway, until next time, everybody, stay safe out there in the real world, and as far as always, take care of yourselves as best you can, one day at a time. It's all we can do. Until next time, see ya.